Yo, what's good? Long time no see. And by long time no see, I mean it's been 3 days since the Season 14 patch came out, and they've already hotfixed the game. And they posted what was going to be in the hotfix. The hotfix is already out in the game right now. So if you play now, all these changes that I'm going to talk about here are already in the game. But I was expecting this hotfix to be small, because like I said, it's only been 3 days of this patch. So I didn't expect there to be any big changes, but there's a lot. There's a lot of very impactful changes in this patch. I'm not going to cover everything in this video. If you want to know all of them, you can just look on your client in the patch notes tab, like on the client of League, and at the very top you'll see the hotfix patch notes. So if you want to see every detail, there's some champion changes too. I'm just going to be talking about the item changes that like directly affect Kled, because yeah, there's some big changes here. So let's just talk about it right away. First, I'm going to get over the smaller ones, or at least in terms of how much they impact Kled. I'm just going to get over the smaller ones first. Essence Reaver specifically, 100 gold cheaper, base AD ratio up 10%. You know, this is nice. You know, I always talk about Essence Reaver being like an option on Kled. I don't buy it very often these days, but you know, it's good stats. It's 55 AD, you know, haste, crit. The Sheen proc is whatever, but like it is bonus AD scaling as well on the Sheen proc, on top of the base AD, so it's always a decent option on Kled. So being 100 gold cheaper and doing a tiny bit more, you know, Kled's base AD is not that high, so it's a very small increase, but the gold price is nice. So yeah, this got a little bit better. You know, I also play GP, so it's good for him. You know, Stridebreaker, I know some people loved Stridebreaker on Kled last season. This new one, I don't know, to me the new Stridebreaker sounded good, but like the fact that the active does no damage was like really throwing me off. Like it does literally zero, it does not hit at all, doesn't stack conquer, doesn't do anything. It just slows and speeds you up on the active. That kind of made it feel awkward for me to use, so I stopped trying it. They buffed it up a bunch actually. 5 more AD, 5% more attack speed, 5% more slow, 5% more move speed on the active. This is per person, by the way. Every person you hit gives you 35% more move speed, so it stacks with itself if you know, use the active on multiple champs. So I mean, these are some pretty good buffs, you know. Later down the line, after I'm done talking about all these items, I'm expecting some of these lethality items to get nerfed. So when you do want to try some kind of bruiser Kled build, I think this might matter, because this does seem decent. I think it's like 3,100, so it's a little expensive, but whatever. Collector, they made it 100 gold more. Not really a big deal for me. I only brought this up because I know a lot of people like to go Collector on Kled when they're snowballing. Personally, I think there's better lethality and better crit items to go if you are snowballing. So I've never really liked Collector on him outside of just meme value, but I know some people like it. So just to let them know, it's 100 more gold. It's not too big of a deal. Okay, now we're getting into the more important stuff for Kled, the more relevant stuff. Tiamat itself, they made the active AD ratio 15% higher, and they fixed a bug with the cast time. The cast time on all the Hydra items are supposed to scale with your attack speed. But when this Season 14 patch came out, Tiamat, Ravenous, and Profane were not taking your attack speed into account. So this is just a bug fix for that. It doesn't have to, you know... Because an important thing for Kled is to use your Tiamat while your W is on, slash, like, you know, ready to use, because then you get the attack speed from your W, so the Tiamat and the Hydra actives will speed up because they're based on your attack speed. So this matters for Kled a little bit. It just makes it feel more smooth to use, and it does a little bit more damage. So that's nice. Now, Titanic Hydra. Now, this is like, now we're getting into the biggest changes. Now, this was like, to me, every Hydra item was very viable on Kled with this Season 14 patch. You know, if you've already seen my item video, you know, you'll know what I felt about all of them. I thought they were all good in their own scenarios, but Titanic, I felt like was the best, you know, most of the time. Like 90% of the time, I was going Titanic Hydra, just because the auto reset is just such a strong mechanic on Kled. They said they were going to nerf it, and before they showed what the nerf was, I was kind of thinking they would nerf the cooldown, because if you're like me and you played years back with the old Titanic Hydra, it used to be a 20-second cooldown on the active. So you had to be careful about using it. You know, if you just used it to just wave clear or use it for burst, like, you know, you wouldn't have it for maybe when you want to remount or whatever. Now it's a 10-second cooldown in the game after the Season 14 patch, so you can just use it very often. You know, you never really have to worry about it. I use it to clear every wave. I clear it, I use it on camps. I use it early in a fight, and then you can use it again at the end of the fight, especially if you go in Genius Hunter. So you can use it really often now. So I thought they were going to nerf the cooldown, but they just went with like a stat nerf. 50 less health and 5 less AD. You know, that's not irrelevant. 5 AD is like, okay, that's like whatever. It like kind of sucks, but whatever. 50 less health, not a big deal. You know, obviously the damage scales off your health on Titanic Hydra, so it it lowers the damage a tiny bit more because you have less health. But overall, I still think this is a really strong Hydra on Kled. I still think it'll be his best one. After, I'm assuming they deal with this these lethality items, which we're almost at. But yeah, I still think that's a good item. Ravenous Hydra got 2% more lifesteal, and again, they fixed the bug with the cast time, not scaling with your attack speed. That's all that description means there. So this is pretty nice. You know, that bug fix makes it feel smoother. 2% lifesteal is nice, especially because the active, you lifesteal off of the active if you didn't know. So if you pop the active in a wave or on a bunch of champs, it lifesteals off of that damage. So it'll come into play more often than just when you're auto-attacking. Okay, now the two biggest changes for this hotfix that you need to abuse this now. I'm not even trying to clickbait you or anything. These Profane Hydra buffs and these Hubris buffs are unbelievably broken. If you don't know what they are, you'll see what I mean once you see this. Basically, if you didn't know, Profane Hydra was the most expensive Hydra by 100. Both Titanic and Ravenous are 3,300, but for some reason Profane was 3,400, is 100 more. So they ended up toning that down. Now it's the same price as the other two, so they're all 3,300. And also, the active on Profane Hydra actually did less damage than Ravenous Hydra if the person was not in the execute range. If you don't know how this item works, when the patch came out, if the champion you use the active on was under 30% health, the active would do more damage. It would do 120% AD. If the person you use the active on was not under 30% health, then it only did 80% AD. A Ravenous Hydra does 100% AD all the time. So it was actually kind of weak if you didn't use it on a low target. So they made it so if you use it on a not low target, it's just 100% AD scaling. So it's always going to do at least the same damage that Ravenous would have done. And now, when they are in that, execute threshold under the HP percentage, and now it does 150% AD. This is total AD scaling, just does 150% of your AD. Excuse me, sorry, I got distracted for a second, but to a low target. Now, it doesn't say it here in this tweet. It does say it in the patch notes, and it does say it in game. It doesn't say it on this tweet here, but they also increased the threshold to the champion just needs to be under 50% health. Also, I'm saying champion, but it's the same thing with minions and monsters. You can use the active on to execute them. But yeah, if anybody is under 50% health, it now does the increased damage, and the increased damage went from 120 to 150. So yeah, basically they made 100 gold cheaper. It does 20% more AD damage on a full health, high health target, and it does 30% more AD on a low target. And being low, in quotes, is now 50% health, under 50% health instead of under 30% health. So yeah, they buffed it in 3 different ways, 3 different very big ways. So this item got way better, much better. And not only did all these things happen to this item, but they extremely buffed Hubris, which has really good synergy with this item because this item gives you, a bunch of AD boost on the passive, so it makes your active do more damage. But this item, I talked about this in my item guide, and I talked about how it was kind of like a bait item because it only lasted 60 seconds, the buff. It was 10 AD plus 1 per takedown, which was just embarrassing. So I just felt like there was better lethality items to buy, like Yomu's Opportunity, Axiom Mark, for example. Those all felt like better lethality items and cheaper than this. But what they did in this hotfix patch, again, this is live in the game now. I tested this yesterday. I played a bunch of games with it, or I played a few games with it. But now the buff lasts 90 seconds instead of 60. You get the buff after getting a takedown, by the way. After a takedown, it gives you a 90-second AD buff. So 50% longer than what it used to be. It used to be 60. And now the buff itself starts at 15 AD instead of 10, so it starts with 5 more. And now you get 2 more AD per stack per takedown. You don't even have to get the kill. You can just get an assist if you recently damage them. It'll still give you a stack. So it's twice as much per stack. You know, the duration lasts 50% longer, and the base buff is 5 more. So yeah, basically, you should build this item, and you should build this item every game. I'm not exaggerating. Every single game I built this combo of items, I was just disgustingly fed. I even played a ranked game with it first time. And like, I was literally just rushing hubris first item, which is probably not that serious, but it didn't matter. Like, I'm telling you, it didn't matter. The active just does so much damage. Like, I don't know. You have to see it to believe it. I'm uploading some gameplay of it. You should play it yourself. I'm telling you, it's extremely broken. I mean, even if you just read these changes, I feel like you could imagine this is too much at once. You know, they triple buff this item, triple buff this item at the same time. And they obviously synergize with each other. So it's just really strong. You gotta try it. I just wanted to post this video to just let people know because, like I said, this hotfix came out really fast after the season patch. So I'm guessing a lot of you like have not even gotten a chance to try the new stuff yet. Maybe you haven't had time to play or only a couple of games or whatever. Maybe you just haven't played Kled yet. But I'm expecting this stuff to get nerfed. Like, I honestly think it'll get hotfix nerfed because it seems so ridiculous. But yeah, if it does get changed in a hotfix or another patch, I'll upload another video to just update. But yeah, build this. And then, yeah, there was the other changes, but this shit is pretty crazy. All right, goodbye for now. Peace. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later.